It's time again for the Science Bowl.
Zoo Parade for 5. What big teeth the hippo has are actually a pair of these. Science Potpourri for 10. Would a snake most likely eat every day? Every week, Dateline Science for 10. Why are some elephants wearing necklaces these days? Green things for 15.
And now, here's your host, Mr. Z himself, Dave Zarin.
Thank you, and welcome to the Science Bowl. Today, two outstanding middle schools here playing our game, one of whom could be going on to become the second of our 4 semifinalists in this year's competition. Let's meet the teams right now. First, from Dwight Eisenhower, would you say hello to Audrey Vasquez, Joe Wadiero, and his brother Emmy Wadiero. And from Walker Mill Middle School, say hello, please, to Paris Smalley, Joseph Yambo, and Max Hernandez. And now here are the categories of questions we use on the Science Bowl.
Okay, Mr. Z, here's today's categories. Green things, questions about plants and all things green and growing. Zoo Parade, a Noah's Ark of questions about animals. Body systems, we'll see how much you know about yourself, about things like breathing and growing and digesting your food. Let's get physical. Questions that test your knowledge of physics and chemistry, earth science and space science. Then there's Science Potpourri. Here's a grab bag of science questions, everything from air pollution to the kitchen sink. And finally, Dateline Science. We'll ask you about science history and science in the news.
Here on the Science Bowl, we arrange our game board according to question difficulty, with the easier questions on the left worth 5 and 10 points, tougher ones worth 15, 20, ultimately 25, the toughest question of them all. Both of our teams start out at 50 points. No penalties ever for incorrect answers. And to the 2 rounds, one of these 2 talented, good-looking teams will come back to play our game again and perhaps advance to the semifinals. Let's go over and make sure everything's working properly. Let's go to the red team. Joe, would you try that buzzer for me? Thanks, young man. Good luck to you, your brother, and to Audrey. Have a good game. Walker Mill. Joe, would you try yours? All right. It's a 3-handed push over there. Joseph and Max and Paris, they're ready and raring to go. Let's have a good game. We go alphabetically D before W. So Dwight Eisenhower, Joe, let's play the bowl. Give me a category and a number.
Dateline for 5, please.
Dateline for 5 points. Teams. This year's winner of the Nobel Prize in Chemistry came up with the molecular version of how we human beings find our way around. Kind of a version of Walker Mill.
GPS?
Yeah, it's kind of like the GPS on our cell phones that we use. That's it. Go green.
Let's get physical for 15.
Physical for 15 points. Teams, you can drive cars from Dodge or Chrysler named for stratus and cirrus clouds, but there is no car named for this kind of cloud. Joseph. Take your time.
Columbus cloud.
Help him out.
I can't remember.
Not quite.
Sarah Columbus.
Not quite. Not quite. Good try. Walker Mill, you can drive a cirrus, you can drive a stratus, but you can't drive one of these. It's the kind of cloud that we associate with nice, warm days.
Nimbus.
Cumulus. Cumulus clouds. You can't drive a cumulus. I think that's what you were trying to dig up there, Joe. You came close. No points. Green, Joe again.
Zoo Parade for 20 points.
Zoo Parade for 20 points. Teams, a long story, bear with me, but listen for the punchline and you'll get the answer. Sea otters are washing up dead on the shores of California beaches because it seems they have eaten tainted shellfish that have absorbed parasitic spores from the feces of these animals on shore, the only marsupials that live in North America.
Possums.
Dwight Eisenhower.
Possums.
Possums, yeah. Possum feces contain these spores that somehow get into the shellfish and into the otters and is leading to their death. You talk about a food chain. That is Mother Nature working in a very strange way. Go, Red.
Green things for 5, please.
Green things for 5 points. Teams, a famous book about the Chicago meatpacking industry has what same name as the overgrown forest where famously the lion sleeps tonight.
Jungle?
In the jungle, the mighty jungle, the lion sleeps. That's it. You got it. Go, Red.
King.
Nice answer.
Timon and Pumbaa.
Science Potpourri for 5, please.
Science Potpourri for 5 points. Teams, the bone at the top of your spine that holds up your head has what same... Walker Mill.
Atlas.
Atlas, same name as the mythological guy that holds up the world on his shoulders. Indeed. Thanks, Max, for your assist. Go, Joseph.
Body systems for 15 points.
Body systems, 15 points. Teams, If you've ever had chicken pox, you had the varicella virus in your body. It doesn't go away. It could reemerge, Walker Mill, as shingles later in life. There are a lot of commercials now showing very graphically that rash that develops, very painful rash of shingles. Let's check that score right now. Dwight Eisenhower, 75. Walker Mill, 75. Dead heat. Good playing. Go green.
Science potpourri for 15.
Potpourri for 15 points. Multiple choice question teams. Disinfectants that can be applied to your body safely are known as analgesics, astringents, or antiseptics. Which of those three is a disinfectant that you can safely apply to your body? Analgesics, astringents, or antiseptics? Walker Mill.
Antiseptic.
Antiseptics, absolutely right. Like mercurochrome that you can put on a wound. Absolutely right. All right, you've got a lead. Green.
Green things for 15.
Green things for 15 points. Teams, you probably never thought of giraffes as doing this, but because they browse acacia trees going from one to another, they do what same thing for plants that birds and insects typically do. Dwight Eisenhower.
Spread seeds.
No, they don't spread seeds, Walker Mill. Birds and insects typically do this for plants, and now giraffes, because they browse and go from tree to tree, do it too.
Pollinate?
Yeah, they pollinate. They're actually pollinators in the same style as an insect or a bird or other mammals like bats. Okay, go green again.
Let's get physical for 20.
Let's get physical for 20 points. Multiple choice question. Teams, thermometers, to be accurate, have to be placed in the shade. Otherwise, will radiant, conductive, or convective radiant energy absolutely will be absorbed by the material of the thermometer and give you a false reading, which is why thermometers like the one at National Airport is in a little shed next to the runway next to the Potomac River, and it also has louvers, so it is cooler inside. Okay, 125, 75. Joseph, please go next.
Dateline science for 15.
Dateline for 15 points. Teams, early in the Ebola crisis, a person here in Washington who was thought to have Ebola actually had what Walker Mill?
Mumps.
Not mumps, no. Dwight Eisenhower, this person who thought they had Ebola actually was diagnosed with what initial disease endemic to Africa that is carried by mosquitoes.
Malaria.
Malaria, that's right. The person had malaria. All right. Ooh, the buzzer has rung. What a good round that has been. Tight game. Right now, Eisenhower 90 points. Walker Mill 125. We'll be back with round 2 of this middle school match here on Science Bowl in just a moment. Don't go away.
Let's be real. There are days when every mom wants to tell her kids to take a hike. That's actually a pretty good idea. Because when you take us hiking, or let us run outside, acting silly, getting dirty, and helping in the garden, you're not only making your day better, you're making our lives healthier and happier. Playing outside is not only fun, it helps us feel our best inside and out. So next time when Mom wants you to take a hike, tell her to go to beoutthere.org to find fun ideas for helping kids enjoy the great outdoors. Let's be honest, it's not bad for the parents either. They're so cute at this age. Be out there!
Never look a howler monkey in the eye. We built the entire library out of recycled bottles. Fried ants are delicious. We finished our clinic in a rainstorm.
Really?
That was a confidence builder. My students actually ended up teaching me. So I learned the stance. I'll show you the stance. Yeah.
In la keg, a la king.
The classroom was more of a class tent. I think managing a sales team was tough. Try working with 5 different villages. My alarm clock was a rooster. Beans for breakfast, beans for lunch, beans for dinner. We ate a lot of beans. I learned a 3rd language.
My seatmate on the bus was a goat.
Always include the village elders. Always. My morning commute was by canoe. After 2 months, I was ready to quit, but after 2 years, I didn't want to leave. I didn't know I had it in me.
Turn 2 years of service into a lifetime of experience.
Welcome back to Science Bowl. Thank you for spending part of your day with us. Here we are in our 29th season of Science Bowl, and it doesn't get any better than this. 6 outstanding young people here to play our game. Let's meet them right now over at Eisenhower. And we have brothers with us today. First time ever on our show. We have a young lady who was here before, and you're playing a great game here. Joe, tell me about Dwight Eisenhower. It's up there in Laurel. And who's the principal at your school?
Mr. Jefferson.
Mr. Jefferson out there rooting for you. And you have 2 sponsors, don't you? Who are they?
Ms. Pashadi and Dr. Beckett.
And they've been working hard to get you ready, and we'll bring them out in a few moments. And you had an alternate on your team. Who was that?
Marmaduke.
And we'll come out in just a few moments as well. I like to ask schools what they like best about their schools. What's the best thing about Eisenhower in your estimation, Joe?
The teachers, because one of my teachers, Mr. Mellon, he does AVID. He spent 1 hour and 10 minutes after school to help students who are struggling in their grades for no extra pay. Wow.
And you know, teachers, that's a very nice thing. It sounds like a wonderful teacher. Teachers get into the business because they want to help people like you, Joe, and it's not to make their fortune. You are their fortune. Joe, tell me about yourself. What do you do in your spare time?
I'll read, watch TV, or start running.
That's just great. And someday, what do you hope to do?
Be a track runner and a doctor.
And a doctor. Any kind of doctor in particular?
Probably a brain surgeon.
Brain surgeon, wow. I like your discipline. You're a good player. You're very competitive, too. Emmy, is he competitive like this at home?
Yep.
Yep. Are you the younger of the 2?
No, I have a little sister and a little brother.
Oh, I see. Okay, so it's all in the family. Maybe we'll see them on Science Bowl someday. Yeah. Tell me the Emmy story. What do you do in your spare time?
I mostly like to watch TV, play with actually my other siblings, and do some homework.
That's right. Well, obviously you've been doing your homework because you're a good player here. And when you grow up, your brother wants to be into a number of things. Are you the same way?
Kind of.
Yeah? Okay. All right. Good to have you with us. Audrey, tell us about yourself. What do you want to do someday? Acting, right? You want to be an actress. When we saw you last, what school were you with?
Laurel.
Laurel. And so you weren't quite sure back then. So now you're growing up. You want to be an actress. Have you done something on stage that changed your opinion?
Well, last year I was in chorus, so we performed. Also, Miss Johnson, our choir teacher this year, she's going to have us, the entire choir, sing at the grand opening of Laurel Plaza.
Oh, wow. That's going to be a command performance because that's going to be a big event. I think that's tremendous. It's good to have you on the show. You're a good player, Audrey. Walker Mill, nice to have you here. In our 29-year history, Walker Mill has won the county championship before. It's been a little while. Maybe it's your turn again. And with that score, it looks like you're headed in the right direction. Joseph, tell me about Walker Mill. Who's your principal?
Our principal is Dr. Nicole Clifton.
Absolutely, and have met her, and I know how enthused she is about you being here today. And the sponsor of your team?
Miss Barrientos.
Miss Barrientos, and she actually has been a judge on Science Bowl before, so she has really done her homework to get you guys ready for today. Best thing about Walker Mill?
Well, I like the staff. The staff is really nice, and I like the way they teach. They like interact with the students, and they get your opinion on what they should do. Basically, like you plan out your own learning plan throughout the year. And they kind of customize it then. Yeah. And teaching and learning is based on mutual respect. So if they care about what you think, then that says everything. Then they care about you. What do you want to do someday, Joseph? Well, I'm not sure, but I've narrowed it down to either something in astronomy, computer sciences, or neuroscience. Neuroscience,
wow. Good player. And you were here previously with the Glenarden Woods team, which always is a powerhouse here on Science Bowl. Nice to have you back again. And Max, nice to have you back as well. You were here also with Glenarden Woods. And tell me about your aspirations. Where do you see yourself in the future?
I want to be an anthropologist when I grow up. Or if I'm not that, I will want to work with computers and programming.
That's great. What do you do in your spare time?
I play Pokemon. I play my saxophone.
Yeah. Is there a band, a school orchestra over there at Walker Mill?
School band and orchestra.
You play the sax. Yeah, that's a great instrument. Paris, nice to have you back, young lady. You were here before for what school? Capitol Heights, right?
Yes.
Capitol Heights. So now here you are in middle school. What do you like about this show?
I love the fact that I get to compete because I am a big competitor, and I also love science as well.
Oh, well, you're in the right place. You're so well-spoken. This is a young lady who aspires to write, and I know you've written already, and she's an avid reader. and she has a great interest in pulmonology because you've dealt with asthma much of your life, yes?
Yes, I have chronic asthma, and throughout my life, usually in the fall and winter, I've spent my time in hospitals and the intensive care unit because of my asthma. It's so severe.
Well, I'm sorry you've had to endure that, and but it's wonderful that you want to do something to save others from going through what you have been coping with, and we wish you a lot of luck, and it's nice to have you back. Let's get back to our game. Walker Mill 125, Eisenhower 90, lots of points to give away. Last correct answer came from the red team, so Joe, start us out.
Green things for 10, please.
Green things for 10 points. Teams, botanically speaking, sugar cane and wheat and corn and bamboo. Yeah, Walker Mill.
Herbs.
Not herbs, no. All of those plants, corn and wheat and sugar cane and bamboo, botanically speaking, are the same as these green things on our lawns.
Grass.
Grass. They're all gramineales. They are member to the grass family. Go again, red. Go.
Green things for 25.
Green things for 25. A visual question. Look at the monitor in the studio, please. This beautiful tulip is one of the only flowers whose petals are the same color as the normally green cup that surrounds the petals. What S initial part of the flower am I describing? S initial part of the flower, the green cup beneath the petals, Walker Mill for 25.
The stamen?
Ooh, not the stamens. Good try. You can get 25 points and tie this game if you can give me the name of that green cup beneath the petals that is in the tulip the exact same color as the petals. S initial. They are the sepals, the petals and the sepals, S-E-P-A-L-S. Go again, red. Still 25 points down. Go.
Green, dateline science for 25.
Dateline for 25 points, teams. These conveyances in buildings, originally built by Otis, are now being imagined by astronomers as going 60,000 miles from Earth to the space station, Walker Mill.
Elevator?
Yes, a space elevator built with diamond nanotubes. Imagine that, sending something up in an elevator. Nicely done. Go green.
Body systems for 10.
Body systems, 10 points. Teams, big words, simple answer. Teams, the articulation of the tibia and the fibula bones with the talus bone, which is the biggest of the tarsal bones, forms this joint that is, yes, Walker Mill?
The ankle?
The ankle, yeah, I was about to say, which is often sprained. Good. Good listening over there. Thanks, Max. Go green.
Dateline science for 20.
Dateline for 20 points. Teams, if you know anything about the geological time scale, we all know about the Jurassic period because of Jurassic Park. There are also epochs like the Pleistocene and the Miocene and the Eocene. Geologists say we are now living in an epoch known as the Anthropocene because these creatures that have been master builders and users of tools are dominating.
Beaver.
Dwight Eisenhower.
Beaver?
Not beaver, no. The Anthropocene is so named because this species, which has been a master builder and a user of tools, is dominant.
Primates?
Be more specific.
Humans?
Human beings, absolutely right. Anthro is the prefix that we were hoping you would pick up on, which you did. Go green.
Zoo parade for 15.
Zoo parade, 15 points. A multiple choice question and also a visual question. Look at the monitor, please. Yes, these little ground squirrels are called yellow-bellied marmots. And they practice something called polygamy, which means they have lots of babies, lots of predators, or lots of mates. Polygamy.
Lots of babies.
Someone's got to ring in.
Lots of babies?
Not lots of babies. Polygamy among those yellow-bellied marmots, that means they have lots of babies, lots of predators, or lots of mates.
Lots of mates.
Lots of mates, yes. Poly, many mates, so one male can breed with a lot of different females. Polygamy. Go green.
Let's get physical for 10 points.
Let's get physical for 10 points. Teams, the rare earth elements are numbers 57 to 71 on this chart. Walker Mill.
Periodic table.
Periodic table, that's right. You got to remember to push the buzzer. Good. Green, go.
Let's get physical for 25.
Let's get physical for 25. All right, let's get back in the game here, Eisenhower. Listen carefully. It is kind of counterintuitive because on the first day of winter, we in the northern hemisphere and Earth are closer to the sun than on the first day of the summer. Why then are we so cold on the first day of winter? Come on, Joe.
Because in summer the heat is concentrated into the ground, while during the winter is kind of going slanted, so it's not being deeply concentrated.
And what causes that?
Because of the way the Earth is tilted.
That's exactly what we want to hear. Tilted on the axis. Good. Go, red.
Zoo parade for 25.
Zoo parade for 25. Big one in that category. Teams. Insects like grasshoppers that go through incomplete metamorphosis hatch from an egg not into a larval stage. Joseph?
Nymph.
Yes, they become nymphs, so are undifferentiated adults with undeveloped wings. Yes, good. Go, green.
Green things for 20.
Green things for 20 points. The question is also multiple choice. Teams, since baby plants don't have an umbilical cord or a mama, they depend on stored food in the seed's calyx, cortex, or cotyledon. Where is that stored food found in that seed, Walker Milk?
Cotyledon.
Cotyledon, yes. As in monocotyledons, dicotyledons, monocots, dicots, whether they have one or two seed leaves. Go, green.
Body systems for 20.
Body systems, 20 points. Teams, celiac disease, C-E-L-I-A-C, can destroy this digestive organ because it damages the villi, the little finger-like projections inside of it. Name that digestive organ, Eisenhower.
Liver?
No, sir. Name that digestive organ that celiac disease can destroy because it damages the little finger-like projections called the villi. Joseph?
Stomach?
No, the small intestine was the correct answer. Go again, green.
Zoo parade for 10.
Zoo parade for 10 points. Teams, multiple choice question. Teams, animals that are coprophagic scavenge, eat members of their own species, or eat their own wastes. Coprophagic animals, Walker Mill.
Eat their own waste.
Yeah, they eat their own poop. How about that? Okay, go green.
Science potpourri for 20.
I'm sorry?
Potpourri for 20.
Potpourri for 20 points. Teams, because people were getting dizzy and nauseated when images were projected on both lenses, the makers of this wearable computer are now projecting the data, Walker Mill.
Google Glass.
Google Glass, only onto one side and not both. Yes, green.
Science potpourri for 10.
Potpourri for 10 points. Teams, multiple choice question. If a virus becomes more pathogenic, does it become easier to cure, more easily transmittable? Walker Mill?
More easily transmitted?
Nope. Eisenhower, if a virus becomes more pathogenic, does it become easier to cure, more easily transmissible, or deadlier?
Deadlier.
Deadlier is right. Yes, more pathogenic. Go. Red.
Body systems for 25.
Body systems for 25 points. Teams, we all know CVS Pharmacy. The CVS stands for Consumer Values Stores. But in the context of this category, what does CVS stand for? Dwight Eisenhower. Yes, sir.
Body systems?
No. What does CVS stand for in the context of this category, Walker Mill?
Cardiovascular system.
You got it. Cardiovascular system. CVS. That's the way to do it. Green. Go.
Science potpourri for 25.
Potpourri for 25 points. There is a new veggie burger out that has plant blood in it. The blood is actually made from this compound found in red blood cells that carries, Walker Mill.
Hemoglobin.
It's got hemoglobin in it. That gives it that hamburger-like appearance. All right, Walker Mill, you're racking up those points there. Go.
Dateline science for 10.
Dateline, 10 points, teams. The storm known as Vong Fong, since it occurred in the western Pacific and not the eastern Pacific, it was not a hurricane, it was one of these. Walker Mill?
Typhoon.
A typhoon. It was Typhoon Vong Fong that threatened Japan, yes, across the international date line. 3 questions left. Yes, sir.
Body systems for 5.
Body systems for 5 points. Listen to my questions. Don't be talking so much. Listen to the questions, and you'll be able to ring in here. Body systems for 5 points. If something costs an awful lot of money, it may cost you both of these, Walker Mill.
Arm and a leg.
An arm and a leg. That's it. Go.
Super Parade for 5.
Super Parade for 5 points. Teams, if the Washington Nationals baseball team changed its mascot from its current eagle to an insect, that would happen if the Nats spelled their name with a what, Walker Mill?
With the K?
Not with a K. If the Nats spelled their name with this letter, then they might have an insect as a mascot instead of an eagle.
G.
A G, a gnat, G-N-A-T, that's it. Last question of the game. Let's get physical for 5 points. Teams, the Rosetta spacecraft. It's almost there. It is going to make a soft landing, if all goes right, on one of these dirty snowballs with a tail. Dwight Eisenhower?
Dirty snowball. Saturn?
Not a Saturn, no. A dirty snowball with a tail. We're going to make a soft landing on one of these. What is one of those called?
Comet.
A comet, absolutely right. And with that, we come to the end of this episode of the Science Bowl. We'll be right back with a wrap-up. Don't go away.
How far would you go to help someone? Would you go to the end of your driveway? Would you cross a street? Would you cross an ocean? Would you go if you could use your knowledge to teach someone? And in the process, maybe learn something yourself. Life is calling. How far will you go? Peace Corps.
Simple moments are what make every day count.
Welcome back to Science Bowl. What a game we had here today. We loved that Eisenhower never gave up. They gave a really good performance today, but it was all Walker Mill at the second half. Our final tally is Dwight Eisenhower 140, Walker Mill 350. Paris and Joseph and Max, you can finally smile and relax a little bit. They've been so tense over there. Miss Barrientos, congratulations to you. And wave our alternates Calais and Jan and Miss G. Miss G, the department chair of the science department. So great. Glad that she's here today. Eisenhower, I want to see some smiles from you guys. You played a good game. I know you wanted it to be differently, but you won just by being here. You're great ambassadors for your school. Audrey, Joe, and Emmy, Dr. Bagan, Miss Paciotti, and Mamadou. Wave to everybody, Mamadou. Thanks very much. We'll see you next time on another edition of Science Bowl. Bye-bye.